on YouTube. Here we go. Aloha and welcome back once again, international friends, intergalactic friends. This is Brendan, aka Wolf, and you're tuned in for some more live tarot readings with Wolf. For those of you who are tuned into this on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, maybe on Twitch, welcome. Wishing you an awesome day. And yeah, we're going to get right into some readings as soon as we get things all set up here. I am just going to share this broadcast on a couple different groups and pages, and I totally welcome and encourage you to do the same if you are tuned in on any channel. So if you're tuned in on Instagram, click the link in my bio to be able to jump over to YouTube, which is where you can watch. And if you are tuned in on Facebook, please feel free to share this broadcast with your friends. And I'm going to share this into the 1111 movement group, which I'm one of the admins for. And shout out to the 1111 movement group and all the people there. And once we do that, we'll have like 50 people tuned in, and then we'll get right into our first reading. For those of you who are looking just again for like information about being able to have a reading on air, I'll explain it to you in a second. What we do is the first reading we choose for someone from the chat. The second reading, all the readings beyond that are for when people sign up to my Patreon, which again is a super awesome way to be able to help support the ongoing consciousness shifting media work that I do for the community. So if you would like to be able to check that out, I am posting the link for that into the YouTube comments as it is right now, and it's a pinned post on the Facebook comments as it is right now. So stand by for everyone who may be new. If it is your first time here, drop a 222 in the comments. And again, if you're tuned in on Instagram, click the link in my bio. So with that said, I'm going to start the broadcast over on the 1111 movement group, and then we'll get right into our first reading as soon as we're ready. So welcome. Here we go. And we are now broadcasting live in the Facebook group for the 1111 movement. Aloha to everyone who may be tuning into this wherever you are, whenever you are. My name is Wolf, and we are just getting ready to get into our live tarot readings with Wolf broadcast. We've been doing all sorts of broadcasts lately, and again, for those of you who may be new, if this is your first time here, go ahead and leave a 222 in the comments to let me know that it's your first time here. And welcome, and thank you again so much for joining in and getting things all set up here. And the pin post for the Patreon is in the information for this video. And so for those of you who may be here for the first time, please feel free to share this broadcast with your friends, and we're going to get right into the first reading as soon as we are ready. So for those of you on any network, for those of you on Instagram, click the link in my bio to tune in on YouTube if you're sticking around. And we're going to get right into our first reading as soon as we are ready. So for those of you on Facebook, go ahead and share this broadcast. So here's the basic instructions. First of all, I'll just explain to you real quick with the style of reading that I do. And again, everybody's kind of got their own style. With the style of reading that I do, basically, I don't do it as like a fortune telling or a psychic reading. The way how we do it is a way to be able to help speak forth the intention to the universe, to be able to show us what we need to see. And then with that intention, we use the cards as a conduit, and myself and us as a community to be able to help receive that message, to be able to gain additional clarity, insight, and inspiration to assist us on our journey as people who are helping assist with the shift in consciousness, light workers, light guardians, shifters. So if you're a person who is passionate about being able to help change the world, then you are amongst good company, because this is also about being able to build the team and the network that we have here together as a community. So again, for those of you tuning in on any channel, thank you so much. For those of you on Instagram, click the link in my bio to tune in on YouTube. And with that said, we'll get right into our first reading. So here are the instructions. And aloha to yo Lori, thanks for joining in. If you're tuned in right now, good to see you. Thank you so much. Aloha to David and anybody else. Again, here are your basic instructions. If you'd like to be eligible for the first reading, the way how we do this, the first reading, we choose someone out of the chat for the first reading. The additional readings from there are for when people sign up to the Patreon, which is the link that you can see on the info for the screen down below. And that's with a monthly micro contribution to support the work that I do for the community in terms of conscious media creation. And I'll explain a little bit more about that as we go. So basically, If you would like to be eligible for a reading right off the start, here are the basic instructions. Step 1, share this broadcast. If you're in the 1111 movement group, what you may have to do is click on my profile and share the broadcast from my page, from my personal profile. That way so you can share it, because I know there's like a setting within the group that makes it harder to share. And then step 2, I am going to give you a number, and the 8th person who enters this number into the chat will be the first person that we do the reading for. Don't enter in the number more than once, and basically take a second to kind of like listen to your intuition before you drop the number into the chat. And so again, when we do these readings, this is a chance for us to be able to cultivate inspiration, to build as a team, to be able to invite people to support the work that I'm doing and we're doing as a community through Patreon. And again, just be able to help send out the good vibes. So let's get some more people tuned into this. So if you haven't already yet, please feel free to share this broadcast with your friends. If it's your first time here, drop a 222. If you would like to be eligible for that first reading, drop a 333 in the comments, just so I can get an idea of how many people we have here who are interested and looking to be able to have that first reading on air. Yo, Mexi, thanks for joining in. Yo, Claire, Mystic Mocha Cafe, messages by Gabriel, thank you so much for joining in. Yo, Albert, thank you everyone for joining in. And again, we'll get right into this first reading as soon as we got everything in place, which it looks like we do. So again, for those of you on the 1111 movement group, even if you just like this video, share it with your friends, get more people to tune in right now. And again, when we do these broadcasts, like depending on the time of day, sometimes, you know, we can get like 30-40 people tuned in. And again, the other people getting a chance to tune in is also other people being able to be a part of the inspiration that we're cultivating together. So thank you for being a part of the broadcast by sharing it. All right, you guys can hear me okay? Sounds good? Sweet. All right, yo, Kyle, thanks for joining in. Kimberly, Lori again, and David. All right, so here we go. We're going to get right into this first reading. Share this broadcast if you haven't yet. And here is the number. So be the 8th person to enter this number into the chat. Don't enter it in more than once, and take a moment to enter it in before you do. So like take a breath, listen to your intuition. And the 8th person who enters this into the chat. And I'm going to be looking at multiple chats as we do this, so I'll keep an eye on things and I'll let you know. The number that you are going to enter into the chat if you would like to be eligible for the first reading is 777. So take a moment here to just kind of like listen to your heart, listen to your breath, and then when you're ready, drop a 777 into the chat. And as those numbers start coming in, I'll keep an eye on things and I'll let you know who the 8th person is that we are doing, which will be the first person that we do a reading for. All right, so here come the numbers in now. So give me a second here as I just focus in. And I'll let you know once it's confirmed. So I'm just making sure I'm keeping track. Okay, cool. All right, so the first person that we're going to do a reading for today is going to be for Jenna on Instagram, if I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Jenna, thank you so much for tuning in. And again, for everybody here, don't fret, no worries, because the way how we do these readings is like a collective style reading. So even though we're going to have Jenna help facilitate it, basically the way how we do these readings is that it's a collective reading as well. So we're going to do that first reading for Jenna. Jenna, if I'm pronouncing your name correctly. And Jenna, if you want to, Jenna, you can either stay in the Instagram or you can click the link in my bio to jump over to the YouTube chat. So Jenna, let us know when you're ready and we'll get right into that first reading. And so again, for those of you who may be new to this, part of the intention for this broadcast is to provide awesome value for the community by doing these readings, and part of my job is to be able to help invite people to support the work that I do on Patreon. And again, for those of you who may be new to this, my name is Brendan. I'm a full-time conscious media creator. I've been creating conscious media for over 10 years. I'm an award-winning Canadian filmmaker. Yes, Janaya, is that how I pronounce it? Yes. Janaya Precots. That is, yes, you're the person who is the 8th person. So we were doing the first reading for you. So, and just let us know if you're ready. And you can stay in the Instagram chat if you want. So again, just as a quick recap, we're going to do this first reading for the person who we chose from the chat. Jenny. Okay, perfect. We're going to do a first reading for Jenny, and then the additional readings from there are going to be for people as they sign up to the Patreon. And again, Patreon is a website where people can support artists with monthly micro contributions. And again, the work that I do for the community is a lot of really cool broadcasts, inspirational media, free hugs videos, full-length movies, guided meditations, building, and I'm also the director for the Paradigm Shift Central project. And again, that's about building a team of conscious media creators and leaders. So when you sign up onto the Patreon at the $5 level, you get additional perks. But when you sign up at the $11 level, you can get a beautiful Lemurian Light Guardian Crystal, which comes in various colors, and I'll show you those as we go. Plus, you can also get access as a leading member, which is like our private media community. Is our private membership community to support fellow conscious creators and leaders, which gives you access to me as your conscious media creation coach, which is worth like over $250 a month, and other benefits such as being able to join our synergy circles. So if you're like a conscious media creator and entrepreneur, consider joining our Patreon for that reason, and that's a lot of value there that we provide. But again, if you would just like to be able to get that next reading on air and just to be able to support, and you want to be able to like get one of the beautiful Lemurian Light Guardian crystals, then be the next person who signs up for the Patreon. Our objective during this broadcast is to get at least 2 or 3 new Patreon signups during this broadcast. So as we're doing this first reading, sign up for the Patreon if you're in a position to do so, and we will be the next person. You will be the next person for us to do that next reading for. So Jenny, hang tight. I just have to do a quick technical thing on my end to be able to make sure that I can communicate with the chat properly. And we will get right into this first reading. And thank you again, everyone, for being here. And again, if this is your first time here, drop a 222 in the chats, feel it out, get an idea of kind of like the vibe that we're creating here. And again, a big part of what we're doing is just like building a team of shifters, of people who are intentionally here to be able to help assist with the shift in consciousness. So you are already a part of this team simply by like being a part of this broadcast. So thank you so much. So there's a link for the Patreon into the video, into the live chat for this. And again, let's set that intention of getting at least 2 or 3 new Patreon signups as we do this, and we'll go right into the first reading. All right. So for everybody here, thank you again. Honored to be able to be holding this space. Thank you for your support. Let's get those Patreon signups going, and let's work on getting that next Patreon signup ready so that we can go right into our next reading as soon as we're done this first one. So Jenny, confirm that you are ready, and for everybody else here, let's get ready to drop into this first reading. This is using the Ananda Tarot deck, and when you sign up onto the Patreon, you can also choose to get the reading using the Lightworker Oracle deck, which is like another cool bonus incentive there. So starting off with the Ananda Tarot deck, let's do this. All right, share this broadcast with friends if you haven't already yet, and yeah, let's see what message the universe has. Jenny, thank you again. And for everybody here, thank you as well. So for Jenny, for everybody here, just inviting you to begin by just dropping into your heart space and just dropping into this space of gratitude. So I just want to be able to invite everybody here to begin by just closing your eyes and put your hand on your chest if you wish. Just take a couple breaths here. And as you breathe with your breath, just allow yourself to drop into the space of gratitude. Feeling this connection, this joy of being surrounded by other like-hearted, like-minded people. People who are passionate about being able to help change the world, to shift the paradigms, to be able to help make a difference through the power of creativity and compassion. Light guardians, shifters. Jenny, and for everybody here, as you are in this space, I want you to be able to reflect on the intention of show me what I need to see, or show us what we need to see. Speak this intention with your heart, speak it with your mind, speak it with your words. Take a few more breaths here, Jenny. And when you are ready, type now into the chat, but just take a few more moments as I just charge the deck. So take a couple more breaths, focus in on that intention, and when you're ready, Jenny, type now into the chat and we will pull the card for you. So in the meantime, I'm just going to charge the deck real quick. And so, as we show up once again, my friends, we allow ourselves to be a part of this story that never truly ends, as we continue to spiral up these towers of ascension, as we continue to take part in the dance of this sacred lesson. Let us cultivate this inspiration together as we send these ripples out through the world. Let we continue to show the message that everyone is a part of something so much more. And so as we breathe into this breath and we take a moment to feel the love within our chests, we will seek wisdom from the cards as we reflect on the message that the universe has. So just waiting for that now from Jenny within the chat, and holding that intention. And once we see that now, we will split the deck and we will see what message the universe has. So Jenny, when you're ready, type now into the chat. And there it is, now. And the deck is split. The card is pulled. And let's see what our first card is for today. So, all right. The first card that we have pulled for today's reading on behalf of Jenny and on behalf of everybody here is Spheres 3. So Jenny, you can see the card there, and I'll show it to the camera here and allow me to open up to the information in the book. And this is a cool card. I like this card. All right, so let's open up the book here. Give me 2 seconds here, and I'll explain a little bit about what the card actually like visually depicts. And then from there, we will go into the reading for the book. And again, as we're doing this, for those of you who are here, again, if you would like to be the next person that we do that next reading for on air, go ahead and sign up for the Patreon. And you can do that, again, through the link that I'm posting into the chat and is also in the information for this video. And please feel free to keep sharing this broadcast with your friends to be able to invite people to tune in. We'll be live for at least about the next 90 minutes. So let's get as many readings in as we can. And again, are working towards that goal of at least 2 to 3 new Patreon signups. And you can sign up at any point through the Patreon. A lot of value there. And again, just explore it. And you can also get private readings with me as well as an alternative to the on-air reading. So looking at the card here, I'll do my best to kind of like show it to both cameras. So, all right. So visually, what we can see on this card here, we have what appears to be like, again, almost like this like chapel window. That's kind of like this like translucent form that's standing out in the middle of this valley. And most notably in this window, you can see there's like these like 3 little spheres kind of like in like a little like triangle shape right there. And together surrounded by a bigger circle. And then again, just kind of like this like very like magical image, a lot of like forests and hills in the background. A little bit of like some light coming in from behind the mountains with some nice black, darker sky colors up above. And yeah, just some like really, really cool grays and greens and a little bit of like this like concrete foundation at the base of the image with like a little tiny sphere as well, right there in the corner. So again, that's just the literal description of the image. Let's get into the reading for this. And aloha to, again, those of you who are joining in. We got several of our Patreon members already joined in right now. Aloha. Thank you, Rose, for joining in. Carolina, thank you for joining in. And again, if it's your first time here, just drop a 222 in the chat. And again, sign up for the Patreon to be the next person. And you're not just signing up for readings. You're signing up to be able to help like assist and support in the shift in consciousness and to be able to like cast a vote for something that is important to you. Jenny, if you're still here, just please let us know. I just want to make sure that you haven't accidentally left. And again, we're going to keep reading more about the 3 of Spheres, and then we'll talk about it. And then again, from there, we'll get right into our next reading as soon as we are ready and we have that next person signed up on Patreon. So thank you again, everyone, for being here. Let's see what inspiration the universe has for us. If you are here, again, this message is for you. So awesome. All right, let's drop into this. 3 of Spheres. The image. From the deep cosmic blue of the night sky appears a Gothic window integrating 3 stylized spheres in its symmetrical construction. Meaning, from the world of duality, newness is born through the union of opposites. In the energetic field of polarity, the individual develops the ability to create new things, to adjust to the environment of personal requirements and in turn adjust to the given conditions. Through the ability to synthesize, the differences of various manifestations in the outer world can be brought to a new common denominator to guarantee development and progress. Reread that. And again, like anything that I'm reading here, like we'll talk about it more in a second. So if you're just like, oh, I don't really understand what it's saying, like don't worry, we'll talk about it. Through the ability to synthesize, the differences of various manifestations in the outer world can be brought to a new common denominator to guarantee development and progress. Symbiosis, as the combination of various life forms, has a supporting, enlivening effect for the whole. Success arrives at this point after painstaking work, as well as the evaluation of previous experiences. However, within the constant change of becoming, existing, and passing, there is no condition of real duration. Seen in the bigger picture, this image represents only a transition from one condition to another. Astrological significance: Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, trine aspects. Keywords: calling, bundled energy, progress, development, evaluation of experiences, giving content to outer values, adaptation, creativity, increasing resemblance, symbiosis. Traditional meaning: synthesis, construction, creative power, creating an existential basis, collective effort, communal living. Okay, so this is a card that I actually like really enjoy being able to like share with people, because I think there's a really powerful message here. And sometimes the wordiness of how it is explained kind of like it's not fully clear, but I want to be able to just like simplify this in a very practical way that we can integrate into our practice. And again, by us being able to share these messages, this is a way for us to be able to help continue to inspire people and allow us to step into our power and our potential as creators. And so this card in itself is a card that really emphasizes the importance of our role as creators, and more so the process of how things come into be. And basically, so visually, the image of what you can think here, when you're thinking of the three of spheres, essentially one of the things that is depicting is basically the idea that out of two comes three, that when two things come together, a third thing is born. And so with this card, it's really encouraging us to intentionally be a part of that process where we are merging one thing with another in order to be able to create a new thing. And so visually, when we think of this, you can think of this as, again, like the Vesica Pisces, where you see like two circles, and then those two circles come together and it creates, again, that kind of eyeball shape that's known as the Vesica Pisces. That shape in the middle is literally a seed, and that seed literally births new realities. It bursts things into form. And so with this card, it's really reminding us to be able to like evaluate the circumstances of things as they are, and to be able to have the foresight of being able to understand the value of what can be created when we intentionally bring those circles together, when we merge things over top of one another. And again, this merging of things, this can be a variety of things. This can be like us plus an experience. This can be a person plus another person to be able to create an idea. Like this can be, again, just like the opportunity to be able to like create like an event and invite people into it in order to be able to yield an experience, in order to be able to yield a moment of reflection, in order to be able to provide something that is going to serve and offer value to those who are part of this equation. And so again, with this card, it's really reminding us of the importance of making sure that as a creator, we're not just kind of like sitting too long in that place of stagnancy, but instead actively showing up to be able to intentionally see where we can expand our boundaries so that they overlap with other things in order to be able to birth new experiences. So let's say, for example, you want to be able to have that foresight of being able to like think, okay, like how do I construct more courage for myself? How do I construct more bravery for myself? One of the ways that you can think about this from a practical way is to be able to think of like your circle, your bubble, and then to be able to combine it with something, say, outside of your comfort zone, something that is like not entirely something that you're fully confident with, but you're a little bit scared about it, but it's obviously going to need to evoke a sense of bravery, and then you move through this experience, and then out of you plus a circumstance, say for example like me plus doing stand-up comedy, equals an experience where out of that I have birthed and grown the seed of more courage, more confidence, more bravery. So I think when you can kind of begin to approach things from a perspective of understanding, like, okay, what do I want? What do I want to grow? What do I want to be able to create? And then you can kind of begin evaluating the parts that can birth that result. But at the same time, this is also a card that really encourages us to be able to be open to the mystery of synthesis, of being able to not fully know what will come out of combining the two circles. So again, this is where like you might kind of like really develop a new relationship or a new friendship with someone, and it's through that like uncertainty of what will happen when you come together that something amazing can come out of that, something unexpected, something new, something fresh, something that is going to serve others. And again, it could be like literally an idea, it could be an art project, it could be like a concept that you can share with the community. So this card, again, the traditional meaning in this, synthesis, the idea of, again, like things working together, things coming together as one. And it's kind of crazy when you think about it from like a reverse time perspective, where you understand that, again, the universe works in this idea that like it constantly moves from separation to wholeness. And so in the sense of like two things coming together to birth a new thing, it's almost as if that new thing was always there, and then it was only the illusion of the two things that were separate. Meanwhile, those two things coming together was literally them coming into a wholeness that they always were, if you understand what I'm saying. So again, I think this is a very powerful card for us as artists and creators to intentionally go out of our way to engage with other community members, to engage with other creative thinkers, to allow ideas and thought processes to literally be birthed, out of the ether. We are caretakers. We are literally birthing things into this reality. And the process of birthing is a symbiosis, is a synthesis of one thing plus another equals an equation where a third thing emerges. And this is like found all throughout reality. And we can actually actively bring this into our role as creators, and especially as facilitators, when that's one of the beautiful things that I've been involved with through the Paradigm Shift community, has been creating community events. And without even fully knowing what will be birthed, I just know that if I bring people together with intention, and again, it doesn't have to just be one person. What happens when you get a group of people? What happens when there's 5? What happens when there's 10? And they're there with intention and they start merging ideas, and then things come out of that, value comes out of that, the universe speaks through that. So yeah, and Jenny, I can see your comment there. I've been thinking about working towards becoming a full-time artist. Jenny, that's really beautiful to hear that that's something that you're passionate about. And absolutely, again, like that's something like 100%. I encourage you to be able to keep following that. And again, Jenny, like if you want to be able to, I would encourage you to take a look at our Patreon, because again, like our Patreon is literally like part of what I offer is supporting people in becoming like full-time artists in whatever art and value they provide. And a big part of that is just becoming clear on the value that you have to offer. So Jenny, if you want to send me a DM afterwards, I would encourage you to take a look at the Patreon, because it would be like a good investment for you to just be able to like start getting some ideas going. And again, and that's kind of what we do in the Patreon is like as a team, it's like we all have these separate ideas, but then when we come together in community, it's like the universe kind of like allows itself to get more clarity. It allows more things to be brought to the surface in that sense. So if this is resonating with anybody, please feel free to just drop some 1111s in the chat, because again, I think this is a very, very important and powerful card that again really hits upon the themes of construction. These are the traditional meanings: creative power, creating a basis, collective effort, communal living. So yes, we can do things by ourselves, absolutely, but there are certain things that we simply cannot do by ourselves, because there's certain parts of the equation that we don't fully have, and meaning we have to team up with other people, we have to combine forces, we have to merge our circles with one another to be able to create those circumstances. And again, this can be people plus people, it can be people plus events, people plus scenarios. So think for yourself again, you know, like if you're just like like I wonder what would happen if I were to, you know, if I were to go to yoga classes for a week. So you plus yoga classes for a week equals like more mindfulness, more zenness, a healthier body, feeling good, abundance, and just kind of like overall holistic well-being. And again, you can kind of think of how the same thing, the same equation, as much as it can be used for the positive, it can also be used in ways that can sometimes kind of be like detrimental, but also still a lesson in itself. So again, if you're just kind of like in a state where it's like, oh gee, I wonder what's gonna happen if I just kind of like stay at home and binge watch Netflix while eating a bag of chips. And not to say there's anything wrong with that, but if you do that, like there will be a result that will come out of that. And again, knowing what that result is, you might just want to be aware as to whether or not you want to do that frequently or maybe just on special occasions and things like that. But again, create the conditions to birth things with intention. Create the circumstances between yourself and community members and other in opportunities where you can share your art. And again, think about that it's also like literally art combined with a viewer equals an evoked experience, right? So what if you're like, if your intention is to be able to help inspire people, to make them feel a certain way, to help them see the world a certain way, you can do that by creating a medium, by creating an art, putting it in front of them, allowing their perception to merge with the art, and then out of that, a new idea is formed. And ideas are like, again, ideas are what move the world. Ideas are language, and language is code, and this reality is built upon code, is built upon language. So when we get good at like birthing new code, it changes society. So it's like, oh, what if we want to be able to like birth more kindness? Again, this is, and we're going to get wrapped up in this, we're going to wrap up this card in the next little minute. That's again why I'm a big fan of encouraging people to do simple things like free hugs. And when we do things like free hugs, again, it's literally one person plus another person overlapping our circles. But when we do that, it's birthing an experience of kindness, of compassion, of connection, of meaningful interaction. And then again, that kind of like ripples out into the world and it creates an impact. It creates a difference. So again, wrapping it up here for all of you here, just be reminded of the very simple yet practical way in which we can approach things to be able to remind you of the fact that when two circles overlap, something new is born. Always, 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 always something new is born. And so we have to be very intentional. Where are we overlapping our circles? How are we overlapping them with intention? And what is it that we want to birth? And what is it that we want to be able to create space for to be able to help nurture that birth, even if we don't fully know what it is? And that's kind of the joy of kind of like the journey of living and connecting with other people, is that you don't always know what symbiosis will occur. But if you kind of follow your heart and you're connecting with other people who share common visions, a lot of really powerful things come out of that. And again, that's like literally like the godness, the universe kind of like speaking through us, enacting through us. And that's where when you get good at listening to your intuition, that's actually the universe saying like, I want this to be birthed through you. Like I want this art to be birthed through you. And then you can kind of get good at, again, showing up to that. And again, like you can apply this in a lot of ways. Like literally you plus an hour in front of a canvas working on art will birth art, right? So again, it's very practical, it's very simple, but sometimes it's so simple that we kind of have to be like, oh yeah, okay, right, that's how I do it, right? So it's like you plus doing something equals result. So just be reminded that if you want the result, you have to do the equation, you have to do the work, you have to show up, you have to carry it with intention. And when you don't have intention, that's where again things can kind of like begin just popping up in ways that like aren't fully intentional. So the more intention that you have, the more you're going to be able to create things that are going to continue to serve your next part of the creation. So keywords: calling, listening to your calling, bundled energy, progress, development, evaluation of experiences, observing things, observing the synergy and like the way in which things relate, giving content to outer value, adaptation, creativity, increasing resemblance, symbiosis. So yeah, very, very powerful card. So Jenny, thank you so much. Jenny, yeah, please feel free to send me a message, Jenny. Jenny says they're going to check out my Patreon. So thank you, Jenny. And again, the Patreon's like super affordable to sign up to. And again, a lot of value there. And we just did a morning call with artists to be where we brainstorm and get clarity. So that would be like something super valuable for you as well. So Jenny, thank you so much for being here, for adding your support, and wishing you an awesome day, Jenny. Much love. All right, so with that said, for everybody else here, drop those 1111s in the chat if this resonates with you. And yeah, thank you again so much for being a part of this first reading and allowing us to just send out this message of inspiration for all of us creators out there. So thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, three of spheres. If anyone needs a picture of that, send me a message on Facebook or Instagram, and I'll send that to you there. All right, team. So that's our first reading. And again, we've got about at least an hour before I have to go walk my dogs, and we'll do our next reading as soon as we have our first Patreon sign up for today, with our objective to get at least 2 Patreon signups during this live broadcast. And so for those of you who are here, if it's your first time, go ahead and check out the Patreon. I'll post a link for that into the comments there so that you can see it. 1 second here, I just have to, and YouTube keeps glitching out. It keeps like causing me to have to like sign out and sign back in, and then I can't post in the chat, so now I have to do that before I post in the chat. So 1 second, and then I'll post a link into the chat. I don't know why it does that. It's weird. Okay, so again, for those of you who are here, please feel free to share this broadcast with your friends. We'll get right into our next reading to be able to see what mysteries and inspiration the universe has for us as soon as we have that first Patreon sign up ready to go into the chat. So there you go. So there's a Patreon link into the chat. I'll post that into the Facebook chat. It looks like we have a smaller crowd today on Facebook. Maybe it's just a certain time of the day. Maybe it just didn't catch the wave. Sometimes, again, we have like 40 people tuned in. As it is right now, there's probably about 15, which is still pretty awesome. Yo, Rob, thanks for joining in as well. Thank you again, everybody. Again, for those of you who are like here, like, if it's your first time here, like, just to be clear, like, I don't really like answer psychic questions from the chat. So if you're like asking me about particular like foresight, that's not necessarily what I offer. But if you stick around, again, just be open to the idea that there's like a message that will come through, again, to be able to help like support you on your mission in one way or another. For those of you on Facebook, please feel free to share this broadcast with your friends and invite more people to be able to tune in. And I think I'm gonna actually just like restart the broadcast on the Facebook group, because I'm not exactly sure why. It kind of like, yeah, we'll see. So again, team, if you are, I'm gonna read your comments there in a second, and if you would like to I'm just gonna restart the broadcast on the 1111 group to invite more people to tune in. So again, if you would like to be able to get that that second reading on the broadcast, and again, just be able to add your support to be able to get a Lemurian Light Guardian Crystal if that's something you're interested in, then go ahead and sign up for the Patreon. For those of you on YouTube, you can see the link in the top corner to be able to join in there on the YouTube. Okay, all right, I'm just gonna restart this as a watch party in the 1111 movement group. We'll see. Oh, is that why? What? Yeah, see, okay, that's why I did it. Apparently it started a watch party on my own wall, which is why it didn't actually go into the group, which is what yeah, that explains it. Like, that's why like there was like so few people tuned in. Okay, all right, well, now we'll have to kind of that kind of changes things. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's see if this works. All right. Please go into the group. Okay, there we go. So we just restarted a live watch party in the 1111 movement group. So for those of you who are tuning in for the 1111 movement group, we did just do one reading, which I apologize. I thought we were broadcasting in the group, but apparently we weren't. But now we are. So for those of you in the 1111 movement group, go ahead and drop a 222 if it's your first time here, and welcome again, everyone. Since there was a bit of a glitch, I feel like I still want to be able to just like really focus on providing value and again building relationship with the people who are here. So in an uncommon circumstances, we're going to do one more free reading for the people in the live chat on the 1111 movement group. And then if I have time, we'll still do some additional readings again as people sign up for the Patreon. So yeah, okay, so now it's working. Again, yeah, so now we have like 40 people tuned in. So for those of you on the 1111 movement group, if you would like to be able to be eligible for a reading from the chat, drop share this broadcast with your friends. You may need to actually click on my profile in order to be able to share this broadcast, or like this video, comment on it, and yeah, we'll do one more reading. What do you guys think? If I do one more reading as like a free reading for someone from the chat, can someone here in the Patreon like kind of like promise that they're going to sign up when they can? Can you guys do that? That way, so we're just kind of, again, like honoring the energy exchange. For those of you who are here in the 1111 movement group, we're going to get right into another reading. We did just do one first reading. And the way how we do this is, again, we set the intention of show us what we need to see. And then we'd be able to receive additional insight, clarity, and inspiration to be able to help assist us on our journey as light workers and light guardians. So if you'd like to be eligible for a reading within the 1111 movement group, go ahead and share this broadcast with your friends and invite more people to tune in, and stand by because I'm going to give you some additional instructions. And then additional readings that we do are available for people as they sign up to the Patreon. So for those of you on the 1111 movement group, check out my Patreon. And again, when you sign up there, I'll just tell you real quick, you can get a super beautiful Lemurian Light Guardian Crystal when you sign up at the $11 level. And again, that Lemurian Light Guardian Crystal, these things are worth like over $100 in themselves. They're exclusive items that we make within the Paradigm Shift Central project. And yes, they come in a variety of colors. And again, you can get one of those by signing up to the Patreon at the $11 level, plus the other rewards, such as having access to me as your private conscious media creation coach, discounts on the shop, the ability to join as a leading member within our Paradigm Shift Central community, which is all about bringing together conscious creators and leaders. But nonetheless, I want to just be able to honor the fact that there was a glitch, and so we're going to do one more reading for the people in the 1111 movement group and anybody else who's tuned into this. And again, for everybody here, please do me a favor, or like promise me or something, that you'll check out my Patreon when you get a chance. And again, we'll do the next reading after this for the first person to sign up for the Patreon, because our objective is to provide awesome value for the community and invite people to the Patreon, which supports the ongoing consciousness shifting work that I do for the community. So my name is Brendan. I'm a full-time conscious media creator, award-winning Canadian filmmaker. I've been creating conscious media for over 10 years. Patreon is a website where people can support artists they like with monthly micro contributions. When you sign up on mine, you get awesome rewards. And what we do is when you sign up on mine, we'll do the next reading for you live on air. So with that said, let's get right into our second reading, but technically our first reading for the people in the 1111 movement group. So for those of you on YouTube, again, please don't let this stop you from signing up to the Patreon right away. So I would love to, again, still be able to honor our intention of having 2 new Patreon signups during this broadcast. But in the meantime, let's get right into this first reading. So what we're going to do, we're going to choose someone from the chat. If you'd like to be eligible for a reading in the live chat on Facebook and anywhere that you're tuned in right now, listen closely. Here are your instructions. Share this broadcast with your friends if you haven't already yet, and like this video. Step 2, I'm going to give you a number, and the 8th person who enters this number into the chat will be the first person that we do our reading for. And then again, the additional readings will be for people that sign up to the Patreon, and the sign up for the Patreon is a sign up at either $5. The asking level is $11. And again, that's a monthly micro contribution. And again, there's lots and lots of value when you sign up, and that's to support the work that I do. And again, it's an investment for yourself too. So you can see where am I pointing on screen? What that's the link right there. So go to that link. But again, it's in the info for this video. All right, here is the number for you. Don't enter in this number more than once, and take a breath before you enter it. Listen closely. The number I'm going to give you is the number 999. For everybody here in the chat, take a second to breathe. The 8th person who enters this will be the first person we do the reading for. Don't enter it in more than once. And listen to your breath. And when you're ready, type that in. So as that comes in, I'll keep an eye on things, and I'll let you know who the second person is that we're doing a reading for. So this is like a bonus reading, but again, out of this, we'll still get more people signed up to the Patreon as we go. All right, here come the numbers in so allow me to focus here. All right. Okay, cool. So the first person that we are going to do our reading for today, the second person is going to be for Nadia Fletcher, who is in the 1111 movement group. And again, for those of you there's multiple chats. So yes, like the reason why, like it's Nadia, 1, 2, I'm just double checking. 1, 2, 3, hold on. It 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, okay, so it is Nadia. Because, and again, like if you were like counting just within the 1111 movement group, she's the 7, but there was another person in the YouTube chat that entered it in first. So that's where it added up to 8. So Nadia, thank you so much for adding your support. But again, for everybody here, don't worry, because the way how we do this is we do it as a collective team reading. So if you are here, this message is for you. So again, let's get right into this first reading. Nadia, let me know if you are ready for this first reading. And again, for those of you who would like to be able to jump the line and get the second reading on air, go ahead and check out my Patreon. It only takes 3 minutes to sign up. We have the intention of getting at least 2 or 3 new Patreon signups during this broadcast. And plus, when you sign up onto the Patreon, again, you can get the choice between choosing the Ananda Tarot deck or the Lightworker Oracle deck. So the Lightworker Oracle deck is like super in depth. And again, if you sign up for the Patreon, we can choose that one for you. And when you sign up to the Patreon, you can also do a private reading with me as an option. And again, just as another example, when you sign up to the Patreon, you can get, again, beautiful Lemurian Light Guardian Crystals. This one's a regular quartz, but again, the other ones that we do, just showing you that real quick, and then we'll get right into this first reading. So you can see that there. All right, let's do this first reading. And again, let's get that first Patreon sign up as we do this first reading. Thank you again, everyone, for your support. Patreon supporters, you make it possible for us to provide this awesome value for the community. So, Nadia, you are ready. Thank you so much. Inviting everybody here to just be able to join us as we drop into doing this first reading. When we do these readings, just to clarify, I don't do this as a psychic reading. This isn't a fortune telling. This is a way for us to be able to set the intention to the universe to show us what we need to see, and for us to be able to cultivate inspiration and to assist us as light workers, light guardians, and shifters. So this isn't just about tarot reading. This is about building a team. So for all of you who want to be connected to the team that I'm the captain for and the director of, amongst many captains, connect to my Instagram at Mystic Spider-Man, or connect to my profile at Facebook, and also check out the Patreon link as well, and you can see the links there. All right, Nadia, you are ready. So Nadia, I'm going to invite you to just drop into some heart space, and I'm going to direct you through this, and I'm going to tell you to type now into the chat once you're ready, but just follow my instructions. For everybody here, just inviting you as well. And thank you again for those of you who are here, especially those of you, if it's your first time, welcome. We got an awesome thing going on here, and I'm super honored to be able to hold space. Nadia, put your hand on your chest if you wish. Close your eyes, connect with your breath. And as you breathe here, just inviting you to drop into the space of gratitude. Feeling this connection with other like-minded, like-hearted people. All of us who are passionate about changing the world, shifting consciousness, each of us who have our own gifts, our own magic to be able to share. And so as you're in this space of gratitude, Nadia, I just want to be able to invite you to begin focusing on the intention of show me what I need to see. And for everybody here, for everybody tuned in, join us in just this micro focus meditation. Put forth that intention too. So Nadia, again, speak the intention of show me what I need to see, or show us what we need to see. Speak it with your heart. Speak it with your mind. Speak it with your words. Take a few more moments here, Nadia. And when you are ready, type now into the chat. And I'm just going to charge the deck a little bit as we do this. And so here we are once again, my friends, to be able to take part in the journey that never truly ends. As we continue to spiral into new realms of destiny, we will continue to unlock the magic that is within you and me. So mystics and magi, let us unite. Let us continue to shine into the world the power of our light. So as we continue to dance with love through the depths of the dark night, we will continue to rise and show others that this is a fight that we can win, and that we can show each and every single one of us that there are ways to go in which we will change the world with the power of our heart and with the power of the heart and our art. We shall teach others that this right here is the place to start. So Nadia, type now into the chats, specifically now, and then we will split the deck and we will pull the card and we shall see what message the universe has. Dropping into this place of gratitude and finding that new attitude that will allow us to truly see what is true, the connection and the unity between me and you. And so, as we stand by for Nadia to type now within the chat, we shall pull a card and see what message the universe has. There it is. Awesome. All right. Thank you again, everyone, for being here, for adding your support. We've got like probably over 100 people tuned in right now. So again, for the 100 people tuned in, thank you for being here to be able to receive this message. If you are here, this message is for you. We do a very special style of tarot reading here. That's a collective message of inspiration for the team. So for Nadia, the person that we were doing the reading for out of the chats, the card that we have pulled on your behalf for the community is, oh, this one, I like this one. This one's really cool. Is card number 21, the universe. So give me 2 seconds here as I just open up the book. And what I'm going to do, again, the style that I do is I read from the book and then I go in depth and we talk about it some more. So again, as we're here, for each and every single person here, if you're tuned in on Facebook, sometimes it glitches within the watch party in the 1111 movement group. If you find that it's glitching, please feel free to jump over to our YouTube and I'll put the link for that into the comments. So watch on YouTube and click that link there, and you can see the link for my YouTube channel in the top left corner. And you can subscribe there for future broadcasts that we do. And we do lots of cool broadcasts. We did an awesome full moon meditation. And again, the next reading that we do will be for the first person who signs up for the Patreon. And our objective is to get at least 2 or 3 new Patreon signups during this broadcast. So providing awesome value through tarot readings, inviting people to support the work that I do on Patreon for the community, and building a team of conscious creators and leaders. So if you want to connect further with a team of conscious creators and leaders, definitely check out my Patreon. And again, we'll be able to connect further. And thank you so much, everyone, for your support. So Nadia, thank you so much for being here. And again, for everybody, if you are here, this message is for you. So thank you, everyone, for holding space. So looking at this card visually, just looking at it here, for those of you on Instagram, click the link in my bio to be able to tune in. And awesome. All right, 1 second here. Cool. Okay, so visually, let's take a look at this image. What do we have here? We have this beautiful image of like this female figure kind of like floating through space, or she is like a part of space. And you can basically see that she's kind of like wrapped in the embrace of the universe. You can see the cosmos just kind of like floating around her, these beautiful dark blacks and blues. And again, it's very much like kind of like the figure of like Venus, so to speak. Just there, like kind of like in a robe around their legs, but obviously their chest bare. And again, just this very like soft and gentle look on their face, their eyes closed. Very, very beautiful, beautiful image. And yeah, that's basically, again, just like the literal image. And again, let's dive deeper into the meaning of the universe. And this one's pretty cool. So if you're here and this resonates with you, drop some 1111s at any point. And for those of you who are tuned in, again, be sure to connect with my Facebook profile so you can tune in for future readings. Let's get those first Patreon signups. If you would like the next reading on air, sign up for the Patreon. But again, if it's your first time here, just hang out. Let me give you a sample of, again, the vibes that we're sharing here, and then you can choose to support on Patreon. Nadia, drop a comment just to make sure that I know you're still here, and we'll keep going through this. So thank you to like the 10,000 people tuned into this right now. All right, dropping into this. Inviting everyone to be present. Close your eyes if you wish. If you are here, this message is for you. Watch, you're gonna like feel a shift right here. Card number 21. The universe. The image. Happy in the light of a deeper knowledge of the existence of the universal divine presence, humans symbolized by a female figure yield to the infinity of the cosmos. Meaning, the last image of the major arcana simultaneously signals the happy end of a phase of development and the beginning of a new one. From a greater point of view, this means that due to previous maturation processes, man is now able to go to a new level of development and to rise above their base nature. Now that parts of his animalistic nature have developed step by step to a humane level, human nature is raised to a divine level. Deep wisdom, selfless love, and compassion are attributes that characterize stepping out of the threshold of personal ego to transpersonal being. Let me reread that part. Deep wisdom, selfless love, and compassion are attributes that characterize stepping over the threshold of personal ego to transpersonal being. In regard to daily life, it can also be implied here with the image of the universe that undertakings in the outer world are now brought to an end. However, the deeper meaning of the present image lies in reaching higher goals. On a more or less conscious level of existence, everyone carries a deep yearning within to become one with the great whole. The deeper connection to the divine, the more intensely we experience inner peace, love, happiness, and a positive effect, which results from the melding of the individual soul with the source of existence. I'm going to reread that. That part's really cool. And again, if any of what I'm saying here resonates with you, like, just listen carefully. This part, I'm just rereading this part. It's very, very important. The deeper the connection to the divine, the more intensively we experience inner peace, love, and happiness as a positive effect which results from the melding of the individual soul with the source of its existence. The deep striving of every soul toward the highest fulfillment and true lasting happiness is often pushed to the background by the superficiality of every day. Even though it is a seemingly original power that influences our daily actions more than we realize, the search for the lost paradise takes a rather large space in our life. For example, this can mean that apparently unavoidable chaos resulting from the combination of the many factors can reunite as a whole. This can be through the fulfillment of regular duties, making life easier by bringing about closure, or finding one's spiritual identity by fulfilling one's life purpose. Similarly to the seed that grows into a blossom and finally into a fruit, the individual soul also grows by means of all its past development and experiential processes into highest consciousness. The inner wisdom that follows all worldly events of the harmonious laws of nature, which is based upon a higher universal order, fills the entire being with deep trust in its own life. I'm going to reread that part. The inner wisdom that follows all worldly events of the harmonious laws of nature, which is based upon a higher universal order, fills the entire being with deep trust in its own life. Thinking in greater dimensions enables man to put his dreams and visions into practice. In view of infinity, man sets himself boundaries. The image of the universe indicates awakening on a higher level of spiritual reality. The awareness of immortality of the soul gives the individual the possibility of leaving earthly limitations in order to advance to new realms of being. Astrological significance: Jupiter, Neptune in the sign of Pisces. Keywords: rediscovered wholeness, happiness, experiences, rising above oneself, awareness of happiness, experiences of limitation, peak experiences, putting visions into practice, awareness of wholeness, perfection, completion, perceptive abilities, highest consciousness, ecstatic conditions, awe-inspiring grandeur, rising above worldliness. Relativity of daily experiences, inner peace. Traditional meaning: rediscovered paradise, highest level of development, release, promotion, fulfillment of wishes, spiritual awakening, delving into the world of dreams, calling to higher duties, consciousness of oneness, optimism. Okay, stand by. I just have to be able to restart my Instagram real quick. For those of you on Instagram, I have to restart. Click the link in my bio to tune in on YouTube. See you there in 1 second. So I'm just restarting the Instagram, which just takes 2 seconds, and then I'm going to dive deep into this reading to be able to explain a little bit more. But again, drop those 1111s in the chat. Let me know how this resonates with you, because again, this is like This is one of like the more in-depth cards within the deck. Like each card obviously has like its own significance to it, but this card is like definitely one that I'm excited to be able to talk a little bit more about. So just give me 2 seconds here. I just have to click as many buttons as I can real quick to be able to set things up on the Instagram feed, and then we'll dive into this. So again, for for Nadia, again, please feel free to just let us know that you're still there. Drop those 1111s in the chat. And again, thank you so much, everyone. We're going to keep doing this reading, and again, we'll get right into the next reading as soon as possible. And again, that next reading will be for people as they are signed up to the Patreon. And again, the Patreon, you can sign up at $11, at $5. You can sign up at $1,000, whatever works for you. And there's a lot of awesome value there as well. So, okay, we got things set up on the Instagram. Wow, I'm getting pretty good at multitasking, aren't I? So, welcome to Master Control here in Brendan's house. So, all right, stand by. For those of you on Instagram, click the link in my bio to be able to tune in on YouTube. All right, we're good. Sweet. The only reason I have to restart on Instagram is because it has like an hour limit. So yes, we've been broadcasting for an hour already. All right, Nadia, for anybody else here, this card, this is a very, 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 very cool card to be able to receive. And again, with this card, it really reflects on our journey as a soul. And so by me communicating this message, by me kind of like speaking through as a conduit for the universe to be able to give you something that's going to assist you on your journey, I think with this card, again, it's something that, depending on where you are within your spiritual journey, you're going to relate to it in different ways. And I think it's important for each of us to kind of take a moment here to just kind of honor the fact that there was a time in our life where we were probably not fully aware, or far less aware, of the fact that we were an infinite soul, a spiritual being. And now we've kind of gotten to this point where it definitely is becoming more integrated into our identity, into a way in which we see ourselves. And so quick survey here, like if you're a soul who's like infinite, drop a 333 in the chat. Let's just do a quick survey, right? But again, my point is, we're talking to a community of people who are going through this process of awakening, and yet this process of awakening that we're experiencing on an individual level literally is the universe waking up to itself. It is the dream awakening up to itself, is a way how I like to put it. And this in itself is a very euphoric inducing concept that is incredibly beautiful and incredibly profound. And so I remember kind of going through my own awakening process of like kind of beginning to realize this idea of the purpose of the universe giving itself amnesia in order to go through an experience of a human being thinking it was separate in order to be able to find its wholeness. And so with this card, it really reflects and honors the celebration of the journey we are on, reminding ourselves that we are on the right path, and reminding ourselves that we have to be separate in order to be able to find our way back to wholeness. And the universe literally, I'm going to say something that you may have not thought of before. Like, this may shift a couple paradigms, but if you look at the model of how the universe works, it literally works through a process of going from wholeness to separateness. Wholeness to separateness, wholeness to separateness. It is literally this process over and over and over again. And again, that kind of is related visually through different things that we see. Again, even the breath, the seasons where it's like life, death, yin, yang, left, right, male, female, this kind of thing, it's all part of one cycle. But again, we as the universe, literally, what we have to remember is that we were always whole. We were always whole. And the illusion of separation is just that. It is an illusion, but it's required in order for us to be able to see ourselves. And so one of the ways that I like to be able to explain this, and again, we're going to dive deep into this card. And again, we'll keep an eye open for that new Patreon sign up as we're going. Let's get that new Patreon sign up like as soon as we can. And then we can go right into the next reading. So for anybody here, sign up for the Patreon as we're doing this reading. It only takes 3 minutes. But again, I want to be able to just give you like a quick example of kind of something that's really beautiful, where again, think of it this way. Think of it from like the metaphor of like understanding that we are like a child. And so when we're inside the womb as a child, we don't really know the mother. like we know them, but we can't really see them, right? Because like you're in the womb, you're surrounded by it, you're embraced by it, you feel its presence, but you don't really know it. And so it's not until the child is literally birthed out of the womb and is literally brought separate from its mother and then turned around that it can actually see its mother. And then in that moment, like imagine if you were a child fully conscious in that moment, what it would be like to kind of like suddenly turn around and be like holy shit, like you're there, like this is you, like oh my goodness, like I can see you now, and now I understand. And so again, it's this process that for us as a soul, we literally have to go through, like being in the universe and then being separated from it, illusion wise, not literally, in order to turn around and then to look back at us in order to be able to see ourselves, in order to be able to awaken to more of that deeper understanding. Because again, you know, like we are constantly going through this process of being born again and again and again. And so it's through like these processes within our life where again, you know, like we feel love and we feel joy, and then we move into despair and we lose into, and then we like go into these dark places. But then even within those dark places, we learn to look back. We learn to see more of the universe. We learn to develop faith. We learn to develop trust. We learn to develop deep understanding. And then we return once again in new exaltation, in more bliss, in more understanding, in more love. Drop an 1111 if this makes sense for you, kind of what I'm saying here. But again, for us as humans, where we are right now, we are at this incredibly beautiful point within our journey where we are literally evolving. Where again, it's kind of like we've kind of gone through this process, and this has happened like throughout the centuries, throughout eons, throughout cycles, the yuga cycles and everything like that, where again, you know, like collective consciousness kind of awakens on different levels, and it happens individually as well. The micro is the macro. But where we are right now as a species, as a culture, is literally going from this process of being Homo sapiens to being Homo luminous. And so Homo luminous is literally like a term. It's not like an official term, but I like using it. It really makes sense for me. Whereas basically a human being who is, as much as they can be, conscious of the fact that they are literally light incarnated, that they are literally infinite soul, that they are literally an extension and a fractal of the universe, but they are in a human vessel, they are in a human vehicle. And that doesn't like limit their understanding of themselves, but it actually enhances it, and it expands their appreciation. And so with this card, this is a very, very powerful card that just reminds us of our path. It reminds us of our mission. It reminds us of the fact that it is through our hard work, our will, our ability to transmute, our ability to look into the shadows, our ability to spread our love, to spread our compassions, to be in service, which will allow the universe to expand through us. As we expand, the universe expands. As the universe expands, God expands, Godness expands. And so again, with this, let this be a motivation and a reminder of the fact that like your duty amongst all of the kind of, and this card talks about this kind of like the trivial, superficial things, like you did not come here to take care of this, like take care of, you know, trivial things like pay taxes and pay bills and do this and wait in line at the drive-through or something like that. And maybe you did. Yeah, I just came to Earth so I could get that junior Whopper. Like that's no. Oh, no thanks. I wouldn't even want that. Anyways, but again, you know, like some souls probably would come here. They're just like, yeah, I just came here for the sensations and stuff like that, right? Why not? But again, you know, we came here to literally be a vessels through which the universe births itself, and to put it in a more practical way, to be able to be like a bridge between like higher conscious ideas and mainstream culture, to literally have like a 5D awareness, a 5D awareness, a multidimensional awareness in a 3D form, in a 3D vessel. And so that's something that, again, you know, like for who we're talking to right now, everybody who's talking to this, you're all pretty like in the process of waking up. And that's kind of the idea, is that this journey of lucidity is one that is continuously unfolding. You are constantly in a process of awakening, and that awakening is both expanding outwards and inwards, you know, like that's kind of the journey, is we're journeying outwards, but we're journeying inwards. And as we journey inwards, we like bring new things out. We bring more of our courage. We bring more of our gifts. We bring more of artistic expression. So again, this is a card that really celebrates rediscovering wholeness. And again, to be able to begin seeing with our own eyes the illusion of separation, and to see the wholeness within the separation, to see the unity between us. Oh, like that person who's angry in front of you at the grocery store, can you still see them as you? Oh, that person who's suffering on the other side of the world, oh, the forests that are burning in Australia, like, can you still see that in you? Oh, that cattle that's like standing there and has eyeballs, like, can you still see that in you? And so it's always a mirror test. This reality is literally a mirror test. It is a test for you, for the universe to be able to see itself over and over and over and over and over again. And again, even though it may be obvious to you, it's a chance for you to be able to practice this, and a way for you to be able to lead the path, to be able to invite others to be able to do the same. So that as you wake up, again, others are also waking up through you leading by example, which is a very simple but very powerful way of putting. So by you doing the work, you lead the way. And you help other people wake up to their own wholeness. You help other people see more of the magic that is around them. And I think that, again, that's kind of the thing, is that a lot of people, they don't know that they're the universe incarnated. They might not even question it. They literally just think they're their ego. They just think they're what their name is. They just think they're their parents' child. They think they're their job. They think they're a boyfriend, a girlfriend. They think they're this, they think they're that. But they don't really think they're the universe. And again, it's not because they don't intuitively know. It's just because they haven't been given permission to admit that they are. And so what happens when we live that and we're just like, actually, no, like, yeah, we are the universe. We are the universe incarnated. And again, knowing that we are is also us no longer making excuses. Because the thing is once you realize and accept the fact that you're the universe incarnated, you're also basically like saying, I am fully responsible. And I am fully responsible for what I learn and for how I show up and for the gifts that I share. And again, your purpose is to be able to share the gifts that come through you. So for you, Nadia, for anybody else listening to this, I invite you to celebrate the gifts that you have brought with you into this reality, to be able to share with others, to be able to help create the opportunity for more people to see the universe within themselves through one-on-one conversation, through acts of kindness, through art, through creativity, through compassion, which again is exactly what we encourage within like the Paradigm Shift Central community. We're literally a team of people coming together with a shared vision to be able to share our art, to be able to help other people realize that they are the universe themselves, that they are the universe within inside of them. And so again, just looking apart some of the keywords in this: awareness of happiness, experience, peak experiences, putting visions into practice, awareness of wholeness, perfection, completion, perceptive abilities. So again, it's this, there's a very powerful image that I just want to be able to share with everyone here. And shout out again to those of you tuned in right now, especially those of you on Instagram. Please feel free to click the link in my bio, especially those of you on Instagram, wink. But basically, again, and Nadia, please feel free to leave your comments in the chat and I'll read those on air. And for anybody else, leave your comments and I'll read these on air, because this is like this one's super lit. And again, we could spend like an hour talking about this, but we want to get into our next reading. For those of you looking for a reading on air, again, they are available for people signing up onto the Patreon, which is a monthly micro contribution. You can sign up at $5. The asking level is $11. When you sign up there, you get a beautiful Lemurian Light Guardian Crystal, access to me as your conscious media creation coach, which is worth over $250 a month, the ability to join our private membership community of conscious creators and leaders within the Paradigm Shift Central project, and more. But what I was going to say, I want you to visualize this. I want you to kind of like see this in a way that maybe you haven't seen before. And it's something that just kind of like came to me over time. Basically, imagine the way we are perceiving time right now is actually the reverse of how time actually unfolds, or how the universe actually grows. And so basically, like, this is the universe right now. We got a little bit over here, a little bit this, a little bit there, all these little individual points, specks everywhere, all of these little things. and then it's like slowly kind of like coming together and reconforming itself into wholeness, into like a single orb. That's the kind of the linear way of how we perceive it. But the way how we perceive it is actually the reverse of how it is actually unfolding. Meaning, and think about this almost from like, if you were designing the universe, this would make sense. Meaning that this is how the universe actually works. And this is just theoretical. Take it with a grain of salt. The universe actually begins as pure wholeness, meaning visually, to wrap your simple human mind around it, imagine it as a single ball. And then what it does, it explodes itself into a million different fragments, billions and trillions of different fragments, all in infinite directions. And all of these fragments go out and they have all of these beautiful experiences. They live lives, they fall in love, they go through journeys. And now, where we are right now, we're all these different fragments, but we're slowly coming back together. And us coming back together is not this process of just like again, if it was purely linear, you would think like, okay, like I'm going to go this way, this piece is going to go this way, and hopefully we fit together. No, it's actually this process that it's like a reverse engineered puzzle piece where it all fits, it explodes out, and then it coming back together is us perceiving and experiencing life, and then it comes back into wholeness. But that wholeness was its original state. That is like how things are at like the alpha and the omega, so to speak. So drop in 1111 if that shifts your paradigm a little bit, because again, that's like, it's a crazy concept, but basically that concept also invokes the idea that things are happening as they are meant to, and that we will find our way back to wholeness, because there is no other way. It will all eventually lead back to wholeness. And again, it kind of goes through cycles, and along this journey, it's kind of like again, separation, wholeness, separation, wholeness. So again, just wrapping it up on this, and Nadia, I'm going to read your comment. I'll read it right now. Nadia says, I am an observer of this planet going through a transformation. Since June 1st, setting boundaries, evolving, being a hermit, morphing through big illness, looking at them, understanding abundance, slowly getting out of laziness, watching the show, understanding more. Hardest obstacle is health, working past that. I am a healer. I understand. I am a soul. I am an observer, transmedium, major life changes, connecting to the universe. You guys, my test is to reprogram my I am sick to I am healthy. And I am poor to I am an abundant. Beautiful, Nadia. Thank you so much for sharing. And absolutely, yeah, just like owning that abundance from the inside out is 100%. And that's the thing, like we're already wealthy simply by being here, right? And so again, like there's a whole nother conversation there just about manifesting abundance. But again, focusing on this card, we're just going to wrap this up and then we'll move into our next reading as soon as we are ready. Again, other keywords in here: awe-inspiring grandeur. So let this card be a reminder to just kind of sit with the awe that you are. Like, just take a moment, like all of us right here, just take a moment here and just be like, wow, like I'm like everything, man. Like what? Like I am everything experiencing itself as something. I am everythingness experiencing itself as somethingness. I am a piece within a part, and I am playing my part to be able to help bring us back to wholeness. And that is our purpose, is to inspire people to be able to help show up in their ways to help others bring ourselves all back to wholeness. And when we're in wholeness, again, wholeness is in love, compassion, inspiration, awe, wonder, magic, helping other people see the magic of that world. Traditional meaning: rediscovered paradise. Again, paradise, like heaven is not just, you don't just have to think of it as another dimension. Heaven is like a place within us, a place within our heart, a connection to the godness within our heart. Highest level of development: release, promotion, fulfillment of wishes, spiritual awakening, delving into the world of dreams, calling to higher duties, consciousness of oneness, optimism. So for Nadia, for everybody else here, thank you for being the universe. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for doing the work. Thank you for sharing your gifts. Thank you for stepping into your purpose where you are helping others see the universe in themselves. Thank you for being a mirror to help each of us grow as mirrors amongst mirrors. Thank you for helping everyone walk each other home. So there's the universe card. Super, super beautiful card. Thank you, Nadia. If this resonates with you, and for anybody here, please feel free to leave your 1111s in the comments down below, and I'll read some of the comments on air to the best of my abilities. And thank you again, everyone. This is a super, super beautiful card. And again, it's just a very powerful reminder of the fact that, like, yeah, we are much more than a physical body. We are here with a purpose. And again, I'll say this really, really important, because I want Nadia to be able to hear this, and I want everyone to be able to hear this. Whatever you're going through, you are going through it because you are strong enough to go through it, because you are noble enough to go through it, and because you are brave enough to have chosen to go through it. There are going to be some things where you're going to feel like, no, I didn't choose this, but you choose how you carry it. And you choosing simply to carry it is also you choosing to transmute it and choosing to heal it. And when you do that work, when you give yourself permission to be able to see what you're carrying as inspirational for other people's stories, for you to be able to say, like, yes, me healing this is literally me healing this on behalf of the collective. That is you stepping into your power. And I just want to be able to, like, on behalf of the universe, just be able to take a moment here to, like, look at you and just be able to say thank you. Thank you for being the brave soul you are, for being able, again, the things that you carry, they're not just put on you. You carry them because you are strong enough to carry them, because you have chosen to be the one who will carry them, because you are strong enough to carry them. So thank you for transmuting the shadow. Thank you for healing the collective. Thank you for going through your own journey. Your story is bigger than your own. So I just want you to know that again, what you carry, you choose to carry because you are strong enough to carry it. So thank you for stepping into your bravery. You're incredibly brave. You're incredibly loved. You're incredibly appreciated, and everything that you do matters. Thank you so much. So just want to be able to share that. If that resonates with you, drop a 777 in the chat. Nadia says, at the beginning, when placing hand on heart, connected to all of you instantly through a lit web. Placing and calmness came over. Body is tugging and pulling. I'm morphing. I understand the process and accept it. Love the mother story. Have to get over fear of living. Doing 30 years Lyme disease. Need to get over that. I understand again. I am watching a movie of myself. I have a childlike observation of everything, like a child. All the fears just need to be peeled away. Thank you, Wolf. Card is perfect for me. Nadia, thank you for sharing, and thank you again for being so open and just like sharing your inspiration with us. Awesome. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right, team, that was a super awesome card. Nadia, if you would like to be able to receive the image of that card and the write-up for that card, please feel free to just send me a direct message, and I can send that over to you as well. And so again, that is the universe card from the Ananda Tarot deck. And thank you for those of you tuned in on Instagram. For those of you on Instagram, click the link in my bio to tune in on YouTube. Okay, so with that said, we're gonna take a quick intermission here, and we'll do the next tarot reading for the next people that sign up to the Patreon. And so at this point, for those of you who may be new to this, again, my name is Brendan. Nadia, thank you. Nadia just dropping another big thank you. My name is Brendan. I'm a full-time conscious media creator. What you just got to experience is just like a fraction of the value that I provide for the community. I've been dedicated to being able to help build a conscious community of creators and leaders over the past 10 years. I'm a full-time conscious media creator. Working on this is my job. We do full-length broadcasts and guided meditations, full-length movies. I do lots of cool videos like free hugs, conscious movie reviews, humor videos. I help support other conscious creators. My goal over the next 5 years is to be able to help over 100 conscious creators become self-sustained in sharing their art and their passion with the world. And so the way how we create the condition for this broadcast, we provide the first reading for the community purely just as like an experience so that people can be able to receive the inspiration. And then we set the container so that the additional readings that we do through this broadcast are for people as they sign up to the Patreon. And so again, the Patreon is a monthly micro contribution. It's a website, it's a platform. Anybody can sign up for Patreon, and I help people build Patreons where people can sign up and they can add their monthly micro contribution to support artists they enjoy. So when you sign up on mine at the $11 level, you can get a beautiful Lemurian Light Guardian Crystal, which is again like a handmade item that I make within the project. And again, these things in themselves are worth like over $100. And again, that's a Lemurian quartz, and there's like lots of different like styles that we have, and I'll show you one of the ones. They also have like the beautiful like light changing colors as well. And so again, at this point, the next reading that we will do for a person within the community who's listening to this will be for the next person who signs up to the Patreon. So we currently have like 90 people tuned into this broadcast, which is amazing. And again, at the very least, I just invite you to be able to subscribe to my YouTube channel at youtube.com/SkullBabylon. The link for that's in the video on Facebook. So be sure to go to my profile, click the links to subscribe there. Connect with me on Instagram at Mystic Spider-Man. And again, check out the Patreon. It only takes about 3 minutes to sign up, and we'll get right into our next reading as soon as we have our first person signed up for Patreon today. And the Patreon, again, our objective for that is to be able to get at least 2 or 3 new Patreon signups within the duration of this broadcast. And I'm able to stay on air for about another hour, give or take, before I have to step off to be able to take care of some things. So let's get at least 2 more readings in as soon as we can. So again, if you enjoyed just like what it was that we did through that one reading, and you would like to be able to not only get a reading for yourself, but also to be able to support what we are creating here together, sign up for the Patreon. And again, when you sign up for the Patreon, you're also getting access at the $11 level. You can join as a leading member within our Paradigm Shift Central community. And with that, you have access to me as a conscious media creation coach, which is worth over $250 a month. And you also have access as a leading member to our private team chat to be able to be amongst our community of conscious creators and leaders. You can join our regular weekly synergy circles, which is where we do awesome like collective community brainstorming and sharing our gifts. We just did one last night on Sunday at 7 p.m. That's a weekly time. You can check that out. And yeah, a lot of other awesome value discounts for items at the shop, which include our shift buttons. These are, I'll show you here. These are tools. Like hacking the matrix with love is something we talk about. So what we do, we like give people free hug signs, and we encourage them to share buttons, and these buttons have the Paradigm Shift Central website on them. And then when you give these buttons to people, it evokes synchronicity and it connects them to the project, and it helps you plant seeds, and it helps you build community where you are. I've been using these for like 7 years. They've helped so many people connect. They've created so many meaningful interactions. They've spread love and compassion. And again, those are items that you can get through our shop, and you'll get a discount for that when you sign up onto the Patreon. So again, we have about 90 people tuned in right now. So I know that there's someone, a few people tuned in right now who would like to be able to sign up for the Patreon. And again, if you check out my Patreon, you can see more of the videos that I do, the value that I provide. And for those of you who are already signed up on Patreon, thank you for being here, and thank you for your compliments on the reading. And go ahead and even just like leave a little like plug in the comments, just be able to encourage other people to be able to sign up as well. And so again, at this point, we're just gonna hang tight as we just again wait for a new Patreon sign up to be able to sign up. So for those of you who are eager for that next reading, let's hear a little bit of encouragement to be able to encourage people to sign up for the Patreon. It only takes about 3 minutes to sign up, so you can sign up and then you can jump back into the Patreon. And again, this is a way how we can again provide awesome value for the community, and again also to be able to support the ongoing work and value that we are providing as well ongoing. So doing these readings is again just part of the again the value that we provide for the community. So so again, we'll keep an eye open for that. And again, we currently got about 70 people tuned in right now, and thank you again everyone so much for being here and for adding your supports. So all right, 1 second here, I just have to reply to a quick comment. Okay. All right, so thank you again, everyone, for joining in, for adding your supports, and again, we'll get right into our next reading as soon as we have a new Patreon sign up ready to go. And again, when you sign up onto the Patreon, you can get the beautiful Lemurian Light Guardian Crystals. You can get, again, like access to me as your private conscious media creation coach, which is like super, super valuable. So again, if you're like, you don't have to be a conscious media creator to be able to support on the Patreon. There's a lot of value there just in itself. Also, when you sign up onto the Patreon, you can also get access to some of my secret videos, including my video of, again, me working with, sorry, thinking of two things at once. When you sign up onto the Patreon, you can also get video of me working with 5 grams of sacred mushrooms, which is like a 3-hour-long video that I recorded, which is like really, really sacred and special. And again, something I want to be able to share with my Patreon supporters. Nadia, go ahead and send me a message through Facebook. Please feel free to do that, because I may not be able to get to you through email right away. And if you can just message me on Facebook, that'd be perfect. If you're okay with that. And all right, so just keeping an eye on things here. Thank you again, everyone. We've done 2 readings so far for this broadcast. And again, we're working towards our goal of 2 to 3 new Patreon signups during this broadcast. Chris, who recently signed up for the Patreon, Chris says, y'all should totally sign up for the Patreon. Totally worth it. Thank you, Chris. Chris is one of our leading members. And yeah, they were part of our Synergy Circle broadcast last night. So thank you, Chris, so much again for being here. Cool. All right, just making sure I'm not missing any notifications here. For those of you who are on the Facebook feed, you may notice that it may be a little bit glitchy. If it's glitching out at all, please feel free to jump over to the YouTube channel. So again, we got about 70 people tuned in right now. More than that, there's close to about 80 people tuned in right now. And again, I'd love to be able to get into that next reading as soon as we are ready. So again, that next reading will commence as soon as we have someone signed up for the Patreon. And again, it only takes about 3 minutes to sign up for the Patreon. And when you sign up, you'll get the next reading on air. But again, when we do it, you're also like helping provide the inspiration for the entire community, the reading for the entire community. And when you sign up at the $11 level, you can also get a beautiful Lemurian Light Guardian Crystal. And when we create our Patreon, we also create it as like a sliding scale. So like the value that we provide, it's much higher than $11, but we keep it accessible. And so even if you're watching this, if you're in a position to do so, if you want to contribute more, if you want to contribute $22, if you want to contribute $50, if you want to contribute $500, it is all equally appreciated because it is all relative. And again, simply you being here and watching is a form of support. So thank you everyone for your support. So for the 70 people here, please feel free to, again, even just check out my Patreon just so that you can see more of the work that I do. You can check out our recent guided meditation, which is like super valuable in itself. You can check out the full-length movies that I've done, the Journey to Lucidity saga. You can check out the free hugs videos that I've made. Lots and lots of really cool stuff there. So again, let's get right into that next reading as soon as we are ready, which again will commence as soon as we have our first new Patreon sign up for today. And again, our objective is to get 2 new Patreon signups during this broadcast. So for everybody here, if you haven't already yet, go ahead and check out the Patreon, patreon.com/Brendan Culleton, and you can find the link for that in the info for this video. You can see it on screen and you can click the link for it in the chat. Nadia, thank you so much for being present and for adding your comment of support. Super, super appreciated. Nadia says, thanks for the reading. So excited, and you were amazing, on point. Your reading will really help me on my journey. Thank you, Nadia. And again, that's exactly why we do it. And again, that's exactly why the support from the Patreon people is so appreciated, because it allows us to keep providing more of that inspiration for the community. So thank you for again being here, and thank you everyone for just honoring the energy exchange. I know what we're doing here is a little bit different from what people may be used to, but again, it's a really, really exciting and powerful way for us to be able to cultivate ongoing support that's just going to allow us to provide more value for the community. So when you sign up to the Patreon, you're investing in me, you're investing in the community, and you're investing in yourself. So $11 a month is very affordable for a lot of people. If you want to sign up at the $5 level, that's cool for you. But again, $11 is really, really, really good way to be able to help support the community, and again, to be able to get support in return also. So again, we're standing by in this moment to be able to wait for the next person for their Patreon sign up, and we'll give a huge shout out to them as they sign up. And for those of you waiting patiently, again, you can be that next person to sign up for the Patreon, and it only takes about 3 minutes to be able to sign up. So go ahead and check out the Patreon when you can, and you can sign up there. And again, the contributions don't even process until February 1st. So if you're like, oh, like, you know, I'm waiting to get my paycheck or something like that before I sign up, know that you could literally sign up, and then again, like, the payment won't process until February 1st. So as long as you have your funds before then, it totally works. But again, I encourage you to do it if doing it is like something that you can maintain collectively over time. Okay. So again, thank you everyone. We'll stand by for that next Patreon sign up. We still got, again, like, there's still like over like 70, 80 people tuned in right now, and I totally want to be able to honor your time being here. So again, as soon as we get that next Patreon sign up, then we will move into our next reading. So thank you again, everyone, for hanging tight, for adding your support, and for just like being a part of something much, much bigger than any single one of us. So thank you again, everyone. And simply put, if you haven't yet, be sure to connect to my Instagram at instagram.com/Mystic Spider-Man if you would like to be able to connect further there. All right, stand by, everyone. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to take a moment here to just be able to get some tea and rest my throat. And again, for those of you who are simply here, if you enjoyed that first reading, drop an 1111 in the comments. And thank you again for standing by. I'm excited to see what the next card will be. And again, when you sign up onto the Patreon, you can also choose the Lightworker Oracle deck is another option that you can get when you sign up for the Patreon. So out of the 70 people here, I am 100% confident that there are people here within the audience who are able to sign up for the Patreon. And so once you sign up for the Patreon, we will commence the next reading, not just for you, but for the entire community as well. And again, the intention with those readings is to be able to help support and assist us as conscious creators and leaders. And again, when you sign up onto the Patreon, you can join as a leading member within the Paradigm Shift Central community, which again gives you all sorts of cool perks. And like, how many people here would just like the idea of being connected with like a really intentional team of conscious creators and leaders to be able to help support you? So again, if you're like looking at, even if you're like thinking about, you know, oh, how do I like build my own Patreon? How do I continue to do what I love for a living as an artist, as a conscious media creator? Having access to me as a conscious media creation coach is incredibly useful to be able to help support you in getting clarity. And that's one of the things that, again, I'm super passionate about. So you can see here's one of the beautiful Light Guardian crystals. I know there's going to be some people that would just be like, yo, I want just one of those. How do I get one of those? And again, those are handmade items that I make for the community. And when you sign up onto the Patreon at the $11 level with the intention to continue contributing, then you can get one of the Lemurian Light Guardian crystals. So again, for everybody tuned into this, we've got like 70 people tuned in right now. Let's get that next Patreon sign up going. Let's honor the conditions in the container that we're creating here as a community. And thank you again, everyone, so much for your support. We are currently working towards our goal of, again, 200 supporters on Patreon. And you can see on screen, we currently have about 162 already working towards our goal. And again, part of that is like what allows me to keep doing what I do for the community. And again, for those of you who are familiar with what I do, thank you for echoing back the value of what it is that I provide for the community. And again, for those of you who may be new, just go ahead and check out my Patreon, and you can see like some of the full videos that I've made as well. Thank you. Skull Air on Instagram says, your motivation gets me through the day. #amazing. Thank you, Skull. That means a lot. And dude, I'm glad we were able to get some clarity yesterday when we were chatting about your social media stuff too. Again, if you're like someone who's like looking to refine their social media, get their message out there, brand themselves, provide their service for the team, then again, working alongside me is a great way to be able to do it. So, all right. Okay. Okay. Woot woot. Yo, thanks again, everyone. All right, Chris, Ryder, Mexi, Jill, everybody who's hanging out, She-Wolf, thank you again. All right, team, let's get that new Patreon sign up as soon as we can. And again, we will commence that next Patreon, the tarot reading for our new Patreon supporter as soon as we have that new sign up. And our objective is to get at least 2 or 3 new signups during this broadcast. And again, like sometimes, like again, like I'm totally trusting in the process, because sometimes we'll do it and we'll get like 2 or 3 signups, boom, 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 right away. Sometimes we might have a little bit of a wait until we have that new sign up. And again, it is by no means my intention to kind of like make people wait longer than they have to. Again, that's why I want to just be able to invite people to again sign up for the Patreon if they're in a position to do so, which adds a support for the entire team. All right, team. All right, if we don't have any new Patreon signups within the next little bit, that's totally cool. I may be back for a broadcast later tonight, and oh, interesting. Did my Facebook entirely just crash? What happened there? Like, it literally went from like 80 people to 6 people. Huh, wonder what happened there. Not exactly sure. No, I think that's just a glitch, actually. I'm not entirely sure. That's all right, though. For those of you who are here, thank you so much. All right, I'm excited to be able to get into that next reading. And again, that next reading, we'll do that as soon as we have... No, okay, yeah, I think it's still at like... I think we still got like 50 people tuned in right now. All right, for the 50 people tuned in right now, don't you want that next tarot reading? Like, yeah, let's do it. Let's get into it. So let's get that next Patreon sign up ready to go. And we will commence that next reading. And thank you in advance to the next Patreon sign up. And thank you again to everybody just for being here. Drop those 1111s in the chat to make sure that you can still hear me okay. I just want to be able to confirm that that's still working for you. Okay. And... Okay, cool. Sweet. All right, for those of you who are tuned in on Facebook, sometimes like the chat is kind of separated into various watch parties. So if you're commenting, it's possible that I might not be seeing it if you're in like a separate watch party than from what I'm in. All right, team, let's get that next Patreon sign up. Again, if we can get a new Patreon sign up within the next like 5-10 minutes, 5 minutes, then we'll do the next reading. Otherwise, I'll have to step off and take care of some chores. Again, which is totally cool, but we'll be back a little bit later today. And again, I'm sure like I just have to trust the process, create the container, provide the value, invite people to support on Patreon, express what it is that we are creating here as a community. And then the universe kind of takes care of the rest. And again, thank you everyone for being able to help meet us halfway. So I know a lot of people are just like, let's do it. Let's get that next tarot reading going. And so again, I know out of the 60 people here, if you are like, if it comes down to like money in your bank, again, for the people who comfortably are able to contribute $11, your support is super, super appreciated. And for those of you who may not be ready to sign up for the Patreon, no worries at all. And again, you can also sign up at the $5 level. You could literally sign up at the $5 level and still have the on-air reading, and again, get the additional perks there. So I know a lot of people who are tuned into this for the first time. Like, thank you just for being here. Thank you for, again, acknowledging the value of what we are doing for the, like, that last reading was like really dope. So let's hang tight. And again, if you want to sign up for the Patreon at a later date, like, again, absolutely cool. Like, I hope out of doing this, if we have 50 people tuned in, like maybe 20 of those people will sign up for the Patreon at a later date, which is totally possible. So thank you again to our Patreon supporters who are already in the chat. Hey, Augustina, welcome. And again, aloha to Chris and aloha to everybody. Ryder, you were talking about signing up onto the Patreon once you get a chance. Ryder, I hope that job interview went well for you the other day. I know you were talking about that. We were sending you some good vibes there. So, all right, team. So again, it only takes 3 minutes to sign up for the Patreon. And as soon as we have that new Patreon sign up, we will move right into our next reading. And if you want to sign up at the $5 level, the $11 level, the $22 level, whatever works for you is super, super appreciated. For those of you on Instagram, if you want to click my bio link, you can tune in on YouTube and you can join in there. So, hey, Andrea, go ahead and message me directly through Facebook. That's totally cool. So I think I'm like at my like 500 friend limit, but you should still be able to message me. Actually, I think I just sent you a message through Facebook, Andrea. So yes, Andrea, you can set that up for a private reading. Andrea is one of our recent Patreon supporters as well. And thank you again, Andrea. Thank you again to everybody for being here, for adding the support, for the work that you do to be able to help assist with the shift in consciousness. Aloha, Bernice. Aloha, everyone. So, Andrea, yeah, if you're tuned in right now, Andrea, just check your filtered inbox on Facebook. And yeah, we can schedule time to do a reading. Nice, Ryder. I'm glad to hear it went well. So, all right, team. Again, for those of you who are here, welcome. My name is Brendan. I'm a full-time conscious media creator. Doing these tarot readings is just one of the many things that I do to be able to help inspire people within the community, to be able to help assist with the shift in consciousness, building a global team of shifters, people who are helping shift consciousness through acts of creativity and compassion, supporting other conscious creators and leaders, and yeah, being able to provide awesome content to be able to help spark the spirit. So standing by, team, we're still waiting on our newest Patreon sign up for today. For those of you who are tuned in on any channel, again, signing up for the Patreon only takes about 3 minutes. And that's a monthly micro contribution of $5, $11, whatever amount you choose. And when you sign up there, you can also get the Lemurian Light Guardian Crystal with the agreement to continue contributing ongoing to the best of your ability, and the ability to join as a leading member within the community, which is our private membership to support you as a conscious creator and leader. So, all right, team, last call for Patreon signups, because again, if we don't have any Patreon signups, then that's totally cool. It just means that we'll wrap up the broadcast and we'll come back later. And again, sometimes that happens, right? Like, that was an awesome reading that we did. There's like 100 people who are tuned in, a lot of awesome value that was provided there. And even just the fact that people heard that message, again, still ripples itself out into the cosmos. So thank you. Thank you again to everyone for receiving that. And again, for just honoring the value that we're creating, and honoring, again, the ongoing value that we still have to share. And signing up to the Patreon is a great way to be able to help support that. So like I said, sometimes when we do this, we get Patreon signups like boom, 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 like right away. And then other times we do it, and again, like, I apologize. I'm not trying to make you wait. We're just holding space for the container, for the universe, aka us, to be able to help create the conditions, to meet the conditions for, again, helping us serve the steps towards our ongoing objectives, which again is reaching 200 supporters on Patreon. And again, those 200 supporters on Patreon, that just allows me to keep doing even more work for the community. So if you like the idea of like ongoing full moon meditations, bringing community leaders together, creating inspirational content, funny things, awesome memes, all sorts of amazing collaboration opportunities, then yes, signing up for the Patreon is a way to be able to say yes to that. So you signing up to the Patreon is you saying yes to the universe. And again, the fact that like we don't have to do things from a corporation down level. This is us doing it from the ground up. Thank you for the comment about my necklace. The necklace is a Lemurian Light Guardian Crystal. So for those of you who are like, oh, like I love that necklace. Absolutely, so do I. Again, this is like what you can get by signing up to the Patreon as well. And these are all handmade by me. So very, very, very special item. So thank you. Thank you to Isaac, Isaac the Real Deal. Thank you so much. All right, team. Again, I'd love to be able to get another reading in as soon as we have a new Patreon supporter signed up. And again, the sign up for that only takes about 3 minutes. And you can do that by clicking the link in the info for this video on YouTube. And you can also click the link on Facebook. And for those of you on Facebook, you can click the corner to be able to tune in there. And yeah, we'll get into that next reading as soon as we have the new Patreon sign up. And we still have like 30 people tuned in. So let's see. Let's see if we can get it. All right, I'm just gonna sit here and drink my tea. What do you guys prefer? Do you prefer me to keep inviting people to sign up for the Patreon, or should I just sit here and drink tea? Because I don't want to just repeat myself too much. Like, you guys are just like, yes, Brendan, you just said that like 5 minutes ago. Well, yes, I know. And that's because it's my job. So this is my hustle. Like 100%, this is my hustle. And am I doing it because I'm trying to make money? No, I'm doing it because I'm making a global impact. And that doesn't really need those, but that's what we're doing. And again, by being able to creatively find ways for us to support each other as a community, like that's super, super important and super, super valuable. And the fact that I can do it means that you can do it too. So, all right, how many people do we got tuned in right now? I just imagine people just kind of like got me on in the background while they're like doing laundry or something. A reminder for those of you who are already signed up for the Patreon, even if you want to be able to increase your pledge, that would still be a way for us to be able to activate a next reading for the community. So again, we're just hanging tight to be able to reach our goal of 2 new Patreon signups during this broadcast. But again, if anybody here in the Patreon wants to upgrade their Patreon just even by a few dollars, then that's an option too. And then we'll do a reading for the collective. Yo, Tyler, thanks for joining in. Dragon, dude, we're doing the tarot readings. You know what we're doing, right? The exact same thing we're doing on YouTube and Facebook. So thank you so much, dude, one of our Patreon supporters as well. And dude, again, let me know, or sorry, Kyle, why did I say Tyler? I don't know. I was like, out of my brain was like, that didn't make sense. But yeah, Kyle, dude, again, as a leading member, dude, like you have access to the leading member perks, man. So reminder for you to just like utilize those like to the best of your ability. I know you're a busy man, but absolutely, dude, like, yes. Thanks, dude. I appreciate it, man. It's good to see you. All right. Cool. Okay, team. We still got like 30 people tuned in right now. Let's get that new Patreon sign up, or let's get that update to a Patreon pledge, and we will do a next reading. But again, if we don't have anything in the next 5 minutes, then we'll have to come back. And again, like, I have to basically not take things personally. Like, my job is to like do this, and sometimes we may just not get a Patreon sign up, but then to not be disheartened by it, and then to come back and do it again, because the next time we do it, we might get like 3 Patreon signups in like 10 minutes. Whereas like this time, it's kind of, I don't know, I feel like it's like a good way for the universe to kind of to check in with myself, because it's like we did like a super dope reading and we had like hundreds of people tuned in, and then no new Patreon signed up. How do I feel about that? And again, I feel good about the fact that the message got out there. And at the same time, I feel good about the fact that I know I'm going to keep coming back and doing it again. So I'm not going to let myself like get disheartened and be like, oh man, like I'm a sad little wolf or something like that. It's like, no, it's okay. Like I don't take it too personally. So again, I just know that my hustle is going to keep hustling. And I know that there's a lot of awesome value to what we're providing here. And again, I want to be able to not just like ask for help, but to invite people to be a part of what we are creating together. And I appreciate everybody's patience. And again, I apologize if you're waiting for a reading and we're just kind of like hanging out here. But again, you can help speed up the process if you want by signing up to the Patreon when you are ready. So again, I hope by me doing this, it just again provides an example of keeping an optimistic, positive hustle. So that's what you gotta do, dude. All right. Awesome. Sweet. Yes. Thank you, Kyle. Good to hear, man. I'm glad you're able to sync back up soon. Awesome. Sweet. And again, reminder for leading members that you have access to me as your private conscious media creation coach. So if you're feeling like you want to get some more clarity on content you're creating and value you're offering, like let me know and sign up to the Patreon and send me a direct message to get a one-on-one session. All right, team, I'm going to let you guys decide. What do you want to do? Should we wait a few more minutes or should we wrap up the broadcast now? If someone's in the process of signing up for the Patreon, or if a Patreon member is in the process of updating their pledge, let me know. But otherwise, I'll let the community decide. Are we ready to wrap up the broadcast? Or should we keep waiting for another Patreon sign up? What do you feel we should do? So if you want to end if you feel like ending the broadcast now is totally cool, drop a 111. If you feel like we should stick around for a few more minutes and hang out for a next Patreon sign up, drop a 222 and we'll decide. And whatever you decide, that's cool. We'll go with it. And again, and I think what happens is sometimes like the chat like kind of like people like it glitches out on Facebook and then we like lose the engagement on the Facebook chat for some reason. So okay, people are telling me 222. All right, so that implies that we're waiting for the next Patreon supporter. So again, even if anybody wants to sign up for the Patreon at the $5 level, that's totally an option as well. And again, being able to get as many new Patreon signups this month is literally my job. Like, it's my job. So don't hate the player, hate the game. Is that a thing? Do people say that still? Does that even make sense in my context? I don't know. Don't hate anything. Love the player, love the game. All right, we still got about 20 people tuned in right now. And again, signing up to the Patreon only takes a couple minutes. And you can sign up there. And again, when you sign up, that's an investment for yourself. Yeah, you get a Lemurian Light Guardian Crystal, but again, you also get a lot of awesome stuff to support you as a creator. So let me know what works for you. All right, other people are dropping in the 222. So apparently we'll wait for like 1 more minute. But I feel I feel like we're going to be wrapping it up. Surprise me, universe. I am putting out the intention. Someone sign up for the Patreon right now and surprise me. The alternative being us wrapping up the broadcast in the next 2 minutes. So again, for those of you looking to sign up, if you're listening to this like on Facebook, again, you can literally like click the link, type that in your browser, and you can sign up onto the Patreon. And again, for those of you tuning in from the Paradigm Shift Central Instagram page, again, supporting on the Patreon helps the growth of like the work that I do for the Instagram page, which again is all about like featuring various conscious leaders in the community. The Paradigm Shift Central Patreon page, Instagram page, I literally have put it on hold right now because it's important for me to be able to focus on the Patreon first and foremost until we reach our goals, and then I'll shift focus back into building the Instagram page. So all right, team, surprise me. Let's get that new Patreon sign up. And if we don't, it's totally cool. We'll be back later tonight. And I swear I won't be like, I'll still be as confident as ever. So no worries. All right. And thank you again, everyone, just for hanging out and for being here. So last call for Patreon supporters and signups. Again, yesterday we had like 5 signups. Maybe it's the time of day. Maybe it's the fact that it's a Monday. It's okay. No worries, no sweat. All right, and the Instagram feed is gonna wrap up in the next 2 minutes, so I think that's a hint where, again, as much as I would love to be able to do another reading, until we get a new Patreon sign up, we will continue to honor the conditions. And we did 2 readings today, which was unlikely, but again, the value that we provide for the community, there's good karma in that. And again, I'm totally open to receiving where, again, I'll do this, no one will sign up, and then next time we'll do it and someone will sign up for like $50 or something like that. You never know, right? So the important thing is to just be able to keep focus on our goals and move forward in that direction. And yeah, again, by being able to honor the container that we're creating. So you can look at me and call me stubborn, but you can also call me devoted at the same time. Because again, building that Patreon is essential, and it's about being able to support the ongoing work. So by me doing this, this is me like standing up for the little guy. So thank you for allowing me to do so. All right, team. Last call for any Patreon signups. Last minute, if you're in the process of signing up, let me know. There's like 25 people tuned in on Facebook, and I'm not sure if you're able to comment on Facebook because I don't know if you're like tuned in on a different page. So if you are tuned in on Facebook, if you're not commenting on my personal profile, it's possible that I'm not even seeing your messages. Ending this broadcast on Instagram. If you're tuned in on Instagram, click the link in my bio to tune in for the last couple minutes on YouTube. All right. All right, I'm just going to take a moment here to meditate for a bit. You're welcome to join me if you wish. I'm just laughing at Ryder's comment. Ryder, he's like, for the love of the universe, someone please sign up. I feel you. I feel you, Ryder. Like, again, like I don't know. I find it almost humorous sometimes that, again, it's like, I think it's a cultural thing too. I want to be able to invite people to be like able to like give themselves permission to say yes with their dollar, you know, to be able to see it. It's like, oh no, spending money, to instead being like, oh yes, let's use our dollar as a way to be able to say yes to the universe. Drop an 1111 if that makes sense. Because again, like, what do we want more of? What would you rather spend money on? Like, you know, more Starbucks, or like cool conscious media that's inspiring people and making global impact? What do you think we need more of right now? And I know some of you are going to say Starbucks. So that's okay. All right, team. Last minute, last call for any Patreon signups. Thank you to those of you who stuck it out. And I apologize. I'm not trying to like end on any sort of like anticlimactic note anyways. You are the co-creators of this show. So don't bother getting upset at anyone. Again, let us just see this as just another way of being able to be like, okay, next time, let's get those Patreon signups going. Because again, there's still like 30 people tuned into this. So out of those 30 people, I guarantee one of you has the ability to be able to sign up for the Patreon. And again, even if you sign up at the $5 level, that's totally cool. That's totally cool. And again, if you're not in the position to sign up for it, like, please, like, by no means, like, it's like no shame, like no worries by any means. Your support is appreciated in all forms, as I always say. So, all right, team. I think I think that's just the story for today. I think that's just what it is today. And we'll come back next time, and who knows how many Patreon signups we'll get. Again, it's a bit of a roll of the dice. But again, it's being able to show up with intention, and that's a really, really important thing in any of the work that we do. And yeah, I'm looking forward to being able to get more Patreon signups. Obviously, this broadcast, it was not meant to be, but hey, we still got an awesome opportunity to be able to prove to the universe our persistency. So, and again, I do find it ironic that like today we had like the most live viewers that we've had in a while, and then no Patreon signups. What does that mean? Like, what does that say? So you tell me. Like, I'm literally asking, like, what does that mean? So again, I want to be able to invite us as a community. When we all give a little, we all give a lot. And again, I understand, but for some of you, this is your first time getting introduced to me. So if this is your first time getting to see who I am and to see the value we provide, get more of that value just by checking out the Patreon. And you can watch some of the videos, you can watch the full-length movies, you can listen to some of my guided meditations, you can check out the Synergy Circle team broadcast. And if you feel like you're just like, whoa, okay, there's a lot of value here, maybe I want to be involved with it, then sign up for the Patreon. So out of this, I hope that, again, you know, like seeds are planted and people will sign up for the Patreon when they're ready. And again, when we all give a little, we all give a lot. So, all right. Cool. All right, team. I think the universe has spoken. Unless someone surprises me with a new Patreon sign up in the next 30 seconds, we're calling it a wrap. How does it feel? How's everybody feeling right now? I just want to be able to check in. How's everybody feeling? Because I want this to be like a chance for all of us to be able to just like, what did we learn? What did we learn during this broadcast? And again, like we did do like 2 readings for free. 2 readings just like straight up. And again, and that was uncommon. That was because there was like a glitch in the broadcast. So there was like a lot of value just there in itself. And again, as much as I could just be like, oh, here's a free reading, here's a free reading, here's a free reading. It's about being able to create the conditions that, again, honor and invite people to support on the Patreon, which allows us to do more free readings. Because unfortunately, you can't just be like, here's something free, here's something free, here's something free, if you don't have the foundations to be able to constantly provide that. You know what I mean? So absolutely, I look forward to the day where I can literally just be like, don't worry, no one needs to sign up for the Patreon because we're already completely where we need to be and beyond, and I'll just hang out with you and do tarot readings like all day and help get inspiration and help hold space and help support people. Like, if that's my destiny, then that's my destiny. So all right. Dropping all those emoticons in the chat. My goodness. All right. For those of you who are tuned into this, if you haven't already yet, be sure to connect with my personal profile. Follow me there. At Brendan Culleton on Facebook, Mystic Spider-Man on Instagram, Skull Babylon on YouTube. Yeah, I got a couple names. I know. And again, check out my Patreon at patreon.com/Brendan Culleton and sign up on the Patreon when you get a chance. There's a comment on Twitch. Someone said, Mr. Beast, why do you have 0 viewers? On Twitch, we don't get as much viewers. I guess someone's implying that I look like Mr. Beast. The guy. click honey to get honey. Get the honey browser extension add-on. We just saved $85 by clicking honey. It only takes 2 clicks to sign up. Click it and make money, honey. Only some of you know what I'm talking about. It's like an ad on YouTube that's just all over the place right now for the honey browser add-on. But nonetheless, do I look like Mr. Beast? I don't know. I'm a white guy with hair. Is that enough? I guess so. I probably kind of do to some people, actually, though I don't think we sound the same. All right, team, for those of you who are just joined in, we are wrapping up this broadcast. Sign up to the Patreon if you would like to be able to get a private reading at some point, and also to be able to get all sorts of awesome perks and benefits and lots of other cool stuff, and to be able to help support the ongoing work that we are doing for the community. I'm going to take this broadcast and I'm just going to continue to keep my focus and not let the fact that we didn't get any new Patreon signups even just change the motivation. But hey, we're constantly adapting, and again, I know what we're doing here works. It still worked because we still got to provide awesome value. Geronimus, yeah, definitely. Seven's a pretty cool guy. Sweet. All right, team, we're gonna wrap this up. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. Sign up for the Patreon when you wish. Yeah, Andrea, I like your comment there. And Andrea, you're still sticking around. Again, I know you're looking to do the private reading, so again, we'll do that, and I'll reply to your message once I take a moment here to just kind of like take care of some things and come back to it. So thank you, Andrea, for hanging out. And Andrea says it means there are no guaranteed outcomes, meaning next time maybe there are only 10 people joining, but all of them sign up. See, Andrea knows how it works. It's true though, like it really is, and that's why I just have to be able to like take things like in a very kind of like go with the flow, because it does work. Because again, we've been getting new Patreon signups. I know it works. I know we have a lot of value, and I know it's important to be able to invite people to what we're creating. And again, I just appreciate everybody holding space for this. It's very unconventional, but it's very important that we just like stay dedicated and put in the work. So nothing was lost. Nothing last, but nothing was lost either. So we'll be back, and we gained a little bit of extra resilience. All right, thank you again, everyone. Patreon supporters, super appreciate. If you want to update your pledge at any point, absolutely, please feel free. Again, you have access to me as a private conscious media coach. Send me a direct message if you want to be able to set up a time for that. If you have recently signed up for the Patreon and you haven't had like your personal one-on-one reading, message me about that too, and we can set that up also. And if you do have any other questions, please feel free to let me know, and we'll be back. I may be back later tonight. I have to go do some an event, but if I am back and I have enough energy, then we will do another broadcast and we will go from there. So much love to everybody tuned into this. Wishing you an awesome day. May the universe continue to awaken from within inside of you. Follow me on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, wherever you get a chance. Sign up to my Patreon. Thank you so much. +10 resistance. Chris speaks the truth. Thank you, Chris. And watch, as soon as I end the stream, someone's gonna sign up for the Patreon. So be like, what the? But nonetheless, surprise me. For everybody here, please, I invite you to surprise me. The law of surprise is in effect. Sign up for my Patreon when I'm not looking, please. All right, Ryder, Chris, Geronimus, thank you again, and Andrea and everybody else who's tuned into this, who I can't see who's tuned into this. Super appreciate you being here once again. We'll be back once again. This has been Wolf for another live tarot readings with Wolf. As always, keep it shifty. I will see you in the future. Sign up to my Patreon and have a beautiful day. Much love, peace, and wholeness. Thanks again, team. I love you.